Hey guys, it's Flo, and welcome back to another Go Knuckle Talk with Flo. And let me go ahead and introduce you to my co-host, Lisa Nolan Hafner. Hey, Lisa.
Hi, Michael.
So who are these guys? Well, one of them is a three-peat. He's the first to be on our show for our third time, and the rest of them are rookies. So go ahead and introduce them.
Well, I will start with B Terrell and Quennoth Dunlap, Brent Richburg, and Kevin Moseley. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hey,
Welcome. So, before we get started, I just want to ask everybody where you're living now so our viewers out there know where you are today. So, we'll start with you, B.
Beaumont, Texas.
Kevin,
I'm in Lubbock, Texas.
Brent,
I'm in Plainview. Been here for about 25 years after moving away for about 15.
awesome. And Quennoth,
I'm in Richmond, Virginia.
all the way from Richmond. Well, thank you, fellas, for joining us. And we're going to have a good time tonight, reminiscing, and can't wait to hear all your fun stories. And really, I can't wait to hear about all your shenanigans.
Yeah, if I may say, uh, Lisa and I, B and Quentin are from class of 83. Brent's from the class of 84, and Kevin is from the class of 82. So let's get started, Miss Lisa. And I did receive a text, or we did, that he will not be joining us tonight. So
Yeah.
that's okay. It's all good, guys. We'll have fun. So go ahead, Lisa, get us started.
This is going to be kind of a generic question, and I'm going to ask all of you this question. But what got you into sports and baseball in particular? And Quennoth, I'm going to start with you.
Well, that's a hard question for me because I really don't know. Other than, I didn't live too far from the park, so I would always walk down there. I was just never at the age where I could play. And then eventually, I believe my mother got me signed up for a team, and so I started playing from there. Before then, I used to play before high school. I used to play baseball out in the Vadio, out with Peter Solis and all them, Hector Gonzalez, just different people that I used to play with. And we just played street ball. I remember running into cars, parked cars. But it was it was something because it was just me and my sister, and a lot of times we didn't have a whole lot to do. So baseball became a pastime for me. And so that's pretty much how I got started.
And you can throw a rock further than anybody I've ever seen.
Did you? Yeah. Yeah, he had Quentin had an arm. He did have an arm. Quentin, what year did you start summer league, or did you play summer league, like farm league or pee wee?
Yeah, I started out with in t-ball,
which is pee wee.
Yeah, pee wee. Seemed like I want to say I played for the Astros, but I can't. I know we had on a yellow shirt, and I remember wearing some plaited pants. And one game I had, and I can remember one game that my mother ever got to watch while growing up, and that happened to be a day I had the pink eye, and so I had to play the whole game with her sunglasses while I was out there. I think that's why I remember that game so well.
Oh boy.
As a matter of fact, that might be the same lead where I knew that infield was, especially the corners, was not for me. Because I was on first base and a guy hit the ball right at me. And before I get my glove up, it hit me right between my eyes. That's when I knew I cannot play a corner. I need to be the furthest away from the ball as possible.
Did you break your mom's sunglasses on that play?
No, that was another game. Yeah, because I remember what
he just remembers the catastrophe.
The guy was the furthest, right in front of the YMCA. It was the furthest field in the corner. But where I got hit between the eyes was the one right across the street, directly across from
JC Park,
the YMCA. Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Where we used to run barefooted. Remember?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh hell yeah. Don't remind me. What about you, Kevin?
I'm kind of like Quentin. I don't know what started it. I just know we made the big move from Hale Center when I was in second grade. And so, it just always kind of seemed like I always played something. I can remember the T-ball league, except I remember we wore jeans with our T-shirts when we played.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
Yeah.
when Pee Wee wore jeans.
yeah,
Yeah.
we
Oh,
just
that's
wore
right. We
jeans.
did. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember my first team was the Red Sox. I remember that. But yeah, over there was in the parks outside of JC Park, out of the outfield was where all the T-ball parks were.
Yeah.
And that's my first deal. Like I said, I don't really remember when I started or why I started. I don't know if it was my decision or my parents or whatever, but I remember starting, and I can't hardly remember being out of it. So
Were you tall back then when you're growing up?
no, I really wasn't tall until between freshman and sophomore year. I think that's when I had my growth spurt. So I was pretty short, up until then. I guess we didn't have JV. I don't know if you guys had JV or not, but we didn't have JV when I was freshman and sophomore. So I actually played golf freshman and sophomore years, and then played baseball junior and senior. So that's kind of there. Before high school, I actually caught, and then I guess my growth spurt and everything, I got kind of tall and lanky, and started pitching. So anyway, that's kind of the long and short there. But I don't remember what got me started, but I can remember a lot of different things. Up through Little League, and a lot of specifics and a lot of not so specifics. But it was always something that meant a lot to me.
You played in the National, didn't you?
Do what? No,
You
I was
played in
American. I was American.
You was
White
American.
Sox.
Okay.
White
Okay.
Sox.
Okay. What about you, Mr. Richburg?
I grew up playing in the neighborhood too. I don't remember playing baseball so much. I remember we always had a fight over who was going to be Roger Staubach and who was going to be Bob Hayes. And we played sports all the time around the neighborhood. My mother loved baseball. I remember listening to Billy Martin and the Texas Rangers on the radio when I was a kid, about 7 or 8, probably the second year they came to Texas. And I just became a sports fan. I always wanted to play. My dad, not so much. He really didn't care if I played or not. He really didn't want me to play early on, and then he kind of came around. But I was an American leaguer. So when you were talking about your what was your show, 41?
31.
31. I was the Yankees, and so I guess we only overlapped 1 year in Little League because you were 1 year older than me. We played the Pirates 2 times in the city championship, and ended up losing both times. We did beat them once or twice though, so maybe we're the ones that put an end to the. I'm going to pull out. I've got all up above me. I've got all the old scrapbooks, so I've got every article about every summer league baseball game that I ever played in. I think up there, so I should have reviewed it a little bit.
Yeah.
Down to Charles.
I think both I was 11, and Brent, you were 10.
Yeah.
We took 2 out of the 3. B, were you on the Yankees as well?
No, I in Little League,
Yeah.
I think I was on the Tigers.
Was
Okay.
Gordon
Well,
May
anyway,
your coach?
Yeah, I think I was on the Tigers. We were the first team when I was the youngest one. We were the first American League team to win the city championship.
okay. So that's when you were 10 then, because we won at 11 and 12. And we took 2 out of 3, and also when I was 12, we took 2 out of 3.
Yeah, Brent, we felt sorry for y'all. Nationally, we
That one
give it
game.
up. We had to give it to somebody.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny how big we thought that was quite the deal back in the day, didn't we?
Yeah. But the Pirates, when you played, but that was Mr. Jackson, wasn't it?
Yes,
Yeah,
it was.
Alton,
Yeah,
Dwayne.
Alton, yeah.
And who's his assistant?
Dwayne.
Dwayne Thompson.
Ricky.
wasn't it?
Dwayne or Ricky Thompson.
Yeah.
Lutez's older brother.
Yep.
So they were good men.
Yep.
Mr. Terrell, what about you?
Well, it's funny you talk about that. I lived over on 18th Street, and on my street, you remember Steve Thompson?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He was pretty good. You remember Ricky Rodman? He might have moved. He was a good pitcher. Johnny Turpin,
Yeah.
and I can't think of the David Howe. They all lived on my street, believe it or not. Those four and me lived on this little street. There's like only 10 houses, and we would go down to the park on Ennis and play all the time. Well, then when they drafted in Little League, Ricky and Steve Thompson and somebody else were all on the same team, and they drafted me, so I played with them, all the way from Ennis when we were 5 or 6 years old, all the way up. But that's when
cool.
I started. Yeah, it was cool.
That's
And what was I going to say? I forgot, but go ahead, Lisa. I'll remember.
I was going to say something about what Quennoth said. Quennoth, obviously, I couldn't play baseball. My parents didn't let me, but I played softball. But they started me out at second base, no, shortstop, and I got a line drive that about knocked me out, and I'm like, I am DUN done. I played outfield the rest of the time. I did not want to play infield. That scared the crap out of me. My second year, we won the city championship when I was 12. So I wish I would have been playing with you guys instead.
You could now, right?
They could back then. Do you remember Christy?
You could back then because Jackie Ross played. I was
Christy Bennett played.
but my
Yeah. That's right.
Christy Bennett play?
I think so. I think
there was
you're
two
right.
Christy Bennett's. It was the one whose mom was the counselor at the high school.
Yeah, Todd Heflin's ex-wife, right? I believe.
Don't know the answer.
No, I think it's a different one, Flo.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah, I think it was. Was it the one that was?
Her dad was an engineer out at TxDOT, and her mom was a counselor at the high school. And I don't know what I don't know what's gone before she's gone. She was in our grade. I don't remember.
I forgot about her.
I can't think of her name, but I know who you're talking about.
I think you're right. That's the one. That's the one, Brent.
Yeah, Christy Bennett was her name. I don't know what it is now.
Yeah.
Did she go to Lakeside before 5th grade?
Don't know the answer to that.
Okay, because there was a Christy, that Todd's ex-wife. She went to Lakeside. Her mom was a counselor, so that's why I'm thinking.
Could be.
Yeah, no, I think that's a different one. I know who you're talking about, Flo.
Okay,
but I think the Christy Bennett that they're talking about is a year older than her, Flo.
Okay, so that's cool. All right, Miss. What's the next one, Miss Lisa?
So did any of you have anybody in sports or baseball, whether it's local in Plainview or from Texas Tech or the Rangers, or somebody that you really looked up to or idolized?
B. Besides me, B.
Yeah, well, yeah,
the famous drop ball.
Too. I mean, Quennoth. We were on Babe Ruth. Remember, we played Babe Ruth together. I think 3 years. But back then is when George Brett was trying to hit go for 400. Remember, it's a big deal. Back when people watched baseball, and
with the Royals.
I remember every day I was watching. Oh, he went 3 for 4. Oh, he went 2 for 4. I think he batted .391 that year, and so I guess it'd be George Brett.
Okay.
I was a Jim Sundberg fan. I was a catcher from way back, and so about the time I was an 8-year-old, he was the rookie of the year with the Rangers, and kind of started idolizing him. And then it was Moseley's neighbor became my Babe Ruth coach, but Billy Carthel.
Oh, Bill Carthel, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Who did he play for? He played in the majors.
Mets and the Expos.
Yeah, okay.
He got the AAA, I guess. Kevin probably knows all those stories better than me. He and my mom went to school together, and I knew some of them, but Kevin probably knew them way better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Billy's the one, I guess, that kind of got me really rolling, because he moved in. I guess I was probably junior high or something like that, and he coached us. And I think he's probably the one that really kind of got me. I always liked baseball and played it a lot, but I mean, he's probably the one that got me really into it, to the point I was, because, his son Thad was a couple of years, he was my brother's age, so 3 years younger. And so we were a little bit older, and I guess probably more in that range. And, everybody that's got kids, the older they get, the more fun they get. So we were probably a little more fun at my age than what Thad was at that age. They were still a little younger, and he really got me kind of going. Yeah, it was the Expos and the Mets, I think, and I'm not sure if he ever made it all the way up or AAA or what.
As far as I know, AAA was it, but
I know he made it to AAA.
He was tall and big, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Well, I can remember some stuff about him. I mean, he used to come and play. I don't know if most of you guys left, but when I came back and played softball and stuff, he would come out in his jeans and boots.
Yeah,
and play softball,
and he could hit that ball. He could hit it.
Still do it,
He was a left. Was he a lefty?
No, he
wasn't. Okay.
And I remember whenever we were growing up, he would hit these just towering pop ups on the infield, and he would go and catch them behind his back. And it's like that would I'd be knocked out for good there, but yeah, he was something different for sure.
He got some sort of award. I went for Coach Billings. They were giving some award, and he was one of them. He and Arlen Thompson, Della Riggins.
Oh, probably that Hall of Honor.
Coach Billingsley got one in September. I think it's September this year.
The second annual Hall of Fame, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah. What position did he play? Y'all two know?
I think he caught, didn't he, Brent?
Yeah, I think third base and catcher, I think is what he was. I'm not sure where he ended up playing the most. And, he didn't really talk about it a whole lot. You had to
No, he never really did. I remember they moved in like Brent said, right next door to us. And I can remember going down, meeting him and everything. And he had these great big sacks, like, how our equipment bags were always old Army duffel bags, and I mean, they would just be full of cleats and gloves and all that stuff. I mean, he just had just tons of that stuff and just laying around the garage. But and it was old school leather stuff with the spikes like riveted into the sole and stuff. So
real spikes.
Real spikes. That's right.
I've got one more question about him. Did he ever mention, did he play with any major leaguers that made it big in the major league?
Did he not play in I think he played in the major league, didn't he?
I'm not sure.
They said it at that. They said it at that.
Did they?
That Hall of Fame induction. They said he was.
Maybe he did
in the majors. Yeah.
I just never really remember him talking a whole lot about it, because he got his back. He had back surgery, and that's what kind of got him out of it.
I can't remember the guy's name, but I remember going to the Rangers game and getting this autograph from the guy, one of the pitchers for the Rangers, probably in 72 or 73, that had played in the minor, that had played with him and knew him. He had told me to look him up and tell him I knew him, and I did, and he knew him. What was his name? John something or other. I should have done all my homework ahead of time.
Quennoth, what about you?
Well, before I start that, I wanted to, Kevin, one time we were getting ready for a game and I got hit a high fly by somebody and I decided to catch it behind my back. Well, while everybody was in the stands watching, I was called to the side and I got picked up by the shirt and lifted off the ground and got scolded in front of everybody. I knew I probably shouldn't try to catch the ball behind my back anymore.
Who picked you up?
I can't tell you that.
Okay. Well, the statute
we
of
only had
limitations,
2 coaches in baseball, so
the statute of limitations has run out.
Yeah, that's not making fun of somebody. Yeah,
That's just telling the truth.
I'm just telling you, I was the best one on the team. I never got in trouble, didn't do nothing out of line, so that was a surprise.
Was that not you that one time? We came back from getting beat so bad by somebody up north, one of the Amarillo teams, and he said, the one that shall not be named, I don't want to hear a peep out of anybody.
And Quennoth, peep.
And then Kenneth went back up in the corner and goes, peep.
We were playing Hereford.
Yeah.
We were playing Hereford.
That was a different one than the one when he sent remember it was sent Rodney or somebody to the to the bus in the middle of the game or something like that.
Yeah.
I think that was Coronado or something, wasn't it?
Man.
I can't remember that one yet.
Beep.
But yeah,
Think
I didn't
about that
mean
every
for
now and
that.
then.
I didn't mean for that to come out really. I didn't.
Yeah.
It just sort of.
Let's just say, Quennoth, you've changed over the last 40 years.
It wasn't
Don't know
me.
if it's the better or worse, but you have changed. Okay.
Yeah, but no. One of the things I've always regretted is not completely because I was doing what I wanted to do. I was always out playing something, whether it was tackle the man with the ball, playing soccer,
Soccer.
Yeah, well, we were kicking the
Soccer,
ball.
Kickball, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
there you
kick-
go.
Well, no, we had
Baseball with
kickball
the soccer
too,
ball.
but some of the guys they like playing soccer. One of the things I hate because you got to run, so I'll just stand there. If it come my way, I'll get it. But other than that, I don't like that. But yeah, kickball, football. Sometimes you would say stick ball with a made up ball, not really a baseball.
Yeah, you wrap up tape or
But one of the things as I
Box.
started growing up and then realized is I didn't spend much time watching TV to see what the potentials were, what I could have done or what I could have worked towards. So, so I really don't have anybody that stands out. The only, if I thought about anybody, was that pitcher from Texas. And I don't know if it was you, Michael, that we went, somebody took us to a Texas Ranger game and he happened to be the pitcher that day. But I can't remember who that pitcher is. Real
Nolan
famous,
Ryan?
he's real good.
Nolan Ryan.
It might have been him, yeah. But that's the only ball player that I can remember.
that's way before Nolan Ryan time.
Oh, yeah, that's
Way
Astro.
before,
Early 70s,
yeah.
wasn't
Yeah,
It
that's
was-
right. You're
it was
right.
an all-star game in Babe Ruth.
You're
or
talking
something
like Burt Blyleven
that
or
we,
something
that we
like
were
that.
playing over in
Graham,
Graham.
Texas.
Your dad somehow Neil Gillespie's dad knew somebody in the Rangers. Maybe it was his sister worked in the Rangers office, and we ended up going to a game. Is that the one you're thinking about?
It could be. I know we were sitting near third base at one point, if I'm not mistaken.
I do remember
Is
going
there
as a
is there a
team
player
one
named Hillfinger or something like that?
Raleigh Fingers.
Yes,
He was. I remember him pitching
mustache?
on the side. He was warming up. Raleigh.
okay. I can't
Raleigh
remember
Fingers.
who that pitcher was, but I remember being excited about seeing him because he was a good pitcher.
He had the what do you call
Yeah,
it, the
mustache.
handlebar.
Yeah, that's gotta be him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
It
so
was Raleigh
that might be
Fingers.
who that was, but
And
maybe I idolized him, and maybe you too, Michael, because I tried to pitch once and it was a disaster.
I
I
thought
don't
maybe
know
you
how
got
many
your
people I
beard
hit.
inspiration from Raleigh Fingers.
Yeah.
yeah.
You pitched all through Babe Ruth, remember?
I pitched one time.
No, you were pitching. You pitched Babe Ruth. We didn't have any other pitchers.
That one time, and then the other time I tried my hand at catching.
Yeah, no, I remember that.
Yeah, and I'm like, that I'm too close to the bat, and I just can't. Long range, I can be accurate. But short range, no, that's a disaster for whoever the hitter is.
Yeah. We were 17 and we played in All Stars. I think B and Kevin, Brent. Did you make it at 16?
One
We
year,
were.
I had a motorcycle wreck and broke my arm and didn't play 1 year when I was 16. So I may not have. That was that the year y'all went somewhere.
Yeah, what's
Arkansas?
B? It's near you.
We went
it's
to
near-
Beaumont. I mean,
Now I
we
went
went
to
to
those
Beaumont,
three.
Nederland.
Beaumont and played.
Nederland.
Nederland. That's it. Nederland.
Nederland.
Yes.
Nederland. Yeah, I went there.
Yeah, we went there. I
we
think
went
that's
to
where we may have
Nederland one
gone.
time, and Arkansas one time, and then
Yeah.
somewhere in Louisiana. I drove through it not too long ago. Anyway,
Yeah, Nederland was that would have been my last year. That'd been my
Yes.
18-year-old year. So
when we came to Nederland.
yeah, that'd have been my
And-
last year. So
And then, man, it was humid. I mean, of course, we're in dry
Rained every
weather.
day.
Ooh,
I
it
told,
was.
I told Michael the other day we were better than how we ended up.
No,
yeah.
absolutely agree.
Yeah.
We were better than how we ended up.
Yeah.
And
And
You
which
remember, I'll kind of bring up something from that. You guys remember Tommy McMillan,
Yeah. Yes.
That's, I can remember my mom telling me, and of course I worked with Tommy a long time after that. And we stayed real close until he, passed away a couple of years ago. And, I can still remember my mom telling me that she watched, whenever, because he had to leave early, because we had the rainouts and he lost all of his time off. And she said, I can still remember seeing all of the guys, what that did when he left, and she said, I know that, that kind of took the wind out of y'all, to have him leave. And, boy, that was a good bunch though. That was a good bunch of guys.
It was, Jim Robinson was on that team. Roger White,
Andrew Dunlap,
Andrew, Ronnie Ortegon,
Alton. Yeah.
Alton.
Yeah. That was Bracken Finney.
Bracken. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, of course, Ortegon,
Yes.
John Perez. I'm
Yeah.
guessing.
John,
That was the
JJ.
year that was the year I didn't play. I went to Nederland when I was in junior Babe Ruth, not with that group. That's when I broke my arm and didn't play that.
Yeah, that was our senior Babe Ruth.
Our senior Babe Ruth,
Yeah.
yeah.
That was
And then we went to Arkansas. Remember?
Arkadelphia.
Arkadelphia.
I think y'all went
Arkadelphia.
the next
And we
year,
should have
right?
won in
Yes.
Arkansas. We
That was
should
the
have
next
won.
year.
Yeah. And man,
Denham
we got
Springs,
to
Louisiana.
when we
went
got to that
Denham
level,
Springs.
when we got to that level, man, it seemed like every pitcher was throwing the low 90s. I mean, every one of them had gun. I mean, it was just, the pitching was very tough, very tough. But yeah, I just remember how humid it was, both places that we played. But that was a lot of fun. And we stayed with what families did you guys stay with? Do you guys recall?
We had Jim Robertson was my roommate, or whatever you call it, and we stayed with a group, and they were great. And I'll never forget the first he picked us up, and Jim and I are in the back seat, and of course, 18 years old, there's lots of, Anyway, he goes, I have a 17-year-old daughter, and he says, you guys stay away from her. So what's the first thing you think of? Like, yeah, right, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you. Yeah, it's that was she was her and her friends were all pretty nice. I think Quennoth, you guys, stayed right down the street from us, if I remember right.
I think his name was Big D.
Yeah.
Oh, that Cajun family. You stayed with Alton, didn't you?
Yeah.
I remember there was a Cajun family, and it was Alton was just laughing every time they spoke.
Yeah,
They were all of them are Cajun.
Y'all
They were
stayed right down the street from
in
us.
Nederland. I mean, half of them are Cajun. So
That's true.
well, my
we had a
wife
great
graduated
great
from
time.
Nederland. My wife graduated from Nederland High School, so I know, and her name's Bourgeois and Benoit. So if you get the two of them, you're not getting anything quite right.
Oh, no.
There was a guy the family I stayed with. I mean, they were a great family. And even after we were done, they invited me to come back because I had talked to there was a small college there that I could potentially go to school. And they said, well, if you do that, you can come live with us and we'll take you to and from your games and all of that. But that was too far from home.
Lamar's got about 22,000 people now, just so you know.
Yeah. Where I really wanted to go was Beaumont.
Yeah, Beaumont.
Lamar University. Is that who you're talking about? Yeah.
Yeah, that's where
Lamar.
Nederland is. Yeah, Nederland's right by.
Was they Lamar Cardinals, something like that?
Yeah, sure are.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
When did Sports Center start?
79 or 78?
Okay,
It was the late 70s.
Sports Center did.
We were talking about, players that you looked up to. I mean, I'd go in high school. I'd go home for lunch to watch Sports Center, or I'd get up early so I could watch Sports Center before going to school. And when I asked that question about, if you idolized, we only got the sports news from the newspaper, right, before Sports Center.
Yeah.
So we were limited in our people that we could look up to until Sports Center came along, and then you're like, oh my gosh, seeing all these gods play on television.
Well, we lived out of town, so see, we didn't get
Yeah,
we
no
didn't get
cable.
We got
Sports Center
two
for a
channels.
while.
Yeah,
Yeah, no
channels.
cable.
It was like,
Two
if we
channels,
went
and
to
my
stay
dad
with
would
friends
say,
in
"Go
town, we got to see it.
If we wanted the other one, I would have to crawl up the tower and turn it
Yeah.
on. And then we'd have a relay. Okay, that's it. We'd lock it down.
Got a lot of foil paper up there.
There you go.
3 channels. One, you had to climb a 50-foot.
Well,
You know,
did you
power to
learn the
move.
technique of putting a dial in between?
Yeah.
You probably get that
Yeah.
third channel.
That's HBO, man. That's HBO. That's the late
right on
night
the side.
stuff they're talking about.
That was on
But
the
I
Friday
wouldn't know.
night parties, Quennoth.
You're not supposed to mention that part. Just get the
Yeah.
third channel, you know.
But yes, I just Googled it. It's September 7th, 1979 when it came on
Okay.
there for the first time. So
Okay. Okay.
yeah, and
And
Well,
that's when we were
8th grade
getting
then.
ready.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Or we
Yeah.
were freshmen.
freshmen. Yes, we're freshmen in high school, and
Okay.
Kevin sophomore and in 8th grade. So
Yep.
so yeah, I remember Needle Andrew and I were stayed together, and we stayed with the family, and they had 2 young girls, 2 pretty girls, and the oldest one was our age, and I remember the boyfriend being there every day. Every time we were there, he would be there. But they took me and Andrew and Raymond Rivera, and I'm not gonna mention the 4th, but they took us to Great Lake, and we went skiing. And the person I would not mention,
Oh, that's in Arkansas.
Arkadelphia. My apologies. Yes, Arkadelphia. My apologies, but I'd still do the story. But anyway, he'd never skied before, so he got on, and all of a sudden the boat pulled him, and he fell forward, and he wouldn't let go of the rope.
Oh,
And he
no.
could see his face going through the water, and we were yelling, "Hey, let go!" I mean, we dragged his ass for I don't know how long, but he finally let go. But yeah, that's one of the memories I have from Arkadelphia, and I don't remember who we stayed with in Nederland. I don't recall, but anyway,
Yeah.
so
Fun
let's go, Lisa. What's next, Miss Lisa?
What position did you play in high school when you first
When-
started? Like your
yes.
first year of varsity baseball, what position did you play? Go, Brent.
Well, I rode the bench right next to Kevin Moseley. He taught me how to chew sunflower seeds.
Keep the books. And
I
keep
thought
the
you were an old
books.
pro, and you're telling me that was your first year to play.
That's right, and keep the books, right?
Yep, and kept the books. I was a catcher, and so all of a sudden one day, I don't know what flipped. I started being the other half of the doubleheader catcher. So from the time I was a freshman, and 1 year I played a little bit of outfield, but not much. And I was the catcher for the most part. Peter Veer and I caught a lot, and when we were doing double headers, he would catch one, I would catch one, and maybe DH the other game. But I was a catcher.
I remember Peter. Man, if I wasn't throwing strikes, he would throw the ball back at me hard.
Yeah.
He goes, "Throw some damn strikes." I'm like, "All right,
Boy,
my bad."
and don't ever shake him off either.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, he would come right out and say, "You call what you pitch what I call, and that's it." And I mean, that's the way he was.
I thought we weren't supposed to be talking about people and all that. Is that?
Hey, that's like Brent said.
That's
That's
not
just
bad.
facts, there,
That's
buddy.
not
If
bad.
it's
Yeah,
Peter,
that's
it's
a fact.
okay.
That's just Pete.
Who was,
Well, but-
who
I know
was
Peter
our
and I had
left
to argue who
fielder?
was going to be the catcher for Flores because he's going to throw about 90% of the balls in the dirt.
Knuckle
Hey,
curve.
was
He can
that
make you look
Jim
really good or
Roberts?
really bad.
Hey, go ahead, Quentin. I'll tell the
No, I
story
was
with
just
you,
saying,
Kevin.
was that Jim Roberts? That was our left fielder.
Yes,
Yeah,
Okay,
Jim
I've been
Robertson.
trying to remember that name.
yes,
Yeah. Okay.
And
'Cause
David
he was a year
Pena was
older than
right
us.
field.
yeah. Pena would do that, and then remember the old submarine deal
Oh
too.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Submarine.
Yeah.
I don't remember the Robertson in left field.
Jim
I don't
Robertson?
remember.
Yeah,
that.
was
he
short.
That was Jimmy. That was Jim.
It was class of '82. It was a year older.
Yep,
than
he
us,
was
Pete.
with me.
Mosley's year.
Yep, he
I'm
was
trying
with
to
me.
remember him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
it's
was
kinda-
fast.
He was short, really
Yeah.
fast. Had that
Small
big
guy.
crow hop and over the top.
Yeah.
And I mean, he could really wing it too. He had a good arm for a little guy, especially. But yeah, he could bring it.
Go back to you, Kevin. I remember a few years later, the Plainview started having a reunion, they would invite all the ex players to play a game. And I played 1 year, and I hadn't pitched in I don't know how long, but you caught me. And it reminded me because Brent, I could not reach the home plate, and you were getting pissed off at me because damn it, Flores reached the plate. And after a few, I'm like, I'm done.
I'm done.
Hey,
I'm
dude,
done.
you know, I mean, once you get old, you just want it right here. You know, I mean, yeah, I mean, heck, I quit catching my son when he was a freshman. So, you know, I mean,
Yeah.
it's like I'm out. I'm not working for it anymore. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's
Absolutely.
done.
Absolutely. So I wonder if they still have it.
They
No,
haven't
not
had
that
it
I
in a
know
number
of.
of years.
Okay. All right. So Kevin, you were a pitcher, if I believe,
Yeah.
and first base.
I played a little bit of third, you know, sometimes, but a little bit of first, you know, one of the two corners because, unlike, you know, Quennoth, it wasn't because, you know, I played the corners not because I could really do anything. It's because I was so slow, I couldn't move. So you just put you in a spot where you stand and hopefully get in the way and knock it down. So, you know, that's pretty much what I did, but mostly pitching.
Okay.
So is what I did.
And what year did you join varsity?
I would have been my junior year, so it would have been
Yeah.
81. So I played in
Okay.
81, 82.
And then Brent, well, go back to you. When did you go?
I was a freshman in '81 when I
Okay.
was learning, when Moseley taught me the ropes, and I didn't know. I just knew tonight that you didn't really know the ropes. You were just faking it.
All right, Quennoth. Obviously, you're Mr. Center Field,
Yeah, center fielder. That was my home.
and you led off every time, didn't you?
every time.
Either you or Jim.
No, it was always me.
Okay.
No, it was him. Jim would have been further down the lineup. I
Yeah,
think.
he was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was kind of sneaky in the bottom half of the lineup. I think,
Mhm.
if I remember right.
Yeah.
I think Alton always picked. Oh, Alton, didn't he hit third or something like that? And
something like it. Andrew hit fourth.
yeah, Andrew
Yeah,
hit
fourth or
fourth,
fifth.
and I think Alton maybe hit third or fifth, somewhere in there.
Yeah. One thing about Andrew, you know, you expect him to hit a run, but if he didn't hit a home run, you knew he was going to hit it hard. I mean,
he hit some ropes, that's for sure. Yeah.
And you know, if it didn't go his way at the plate, I just remember seeing you can tell he just did not like it. You know, but Andrew, you know, when I think about a third baseman, you know, he was a good third baseman. You know, unfortunately, I think there was times where he had boxing or something, you know, maybe a game or two that he wasn't there, and we would miss him. You know, but other than that, I mean, our whole team, I felt we were solid. That's why, you know, even, you know, just I would mirror what I said about our you know, in senior Babe Ruth. I would mirror that with our varsity team. I just think we were always better than what we were. It's almost like they didn't prepare. We wasn't prepared for next level.
You
It
know,
was a game to us,
yeah,
but not a game that looked forward, that made us reach for more than what we were, what we became.
You know, Quennoth, that's exactly right. You know, because we went out and played.
Right.
You know, we didn't really ever develop anything more than what we had.
Right.
And
we came with the talent.
You know,
no offense to anybody, we did not have a Wayne Dotson in the 3 years. I mean, y'all remember him?
Well, not many people did, B.
He threw it 97 miles an hour, but I mean, we never in any of those 3 years did you have somebody that could come in and just you know,
or Hector Lamone.
One hit or the guy.
Yeah, I remember Hector Lamone. That was a man child.
The man among boys.
It was a man child.
Yeah, but that Dillman guy, remember that Dillman?
Oh yeah.
I mean, Monterey
and Wheeler,
and
that lefty Wheeler.
Yeah, and that's still the best guy ever batted against Wayne Dotson.
Oh, absolutely.
But really, we had a bunch of good pitchers We didn't have somebody that's going to go out and no hit a good team. You know what I'm saying? Just didn't have the stuff.
But
No
you know,
offense to anybody.
Hey,
but-
hey, ho,
B, I think
time out.
it's a lot.
Hold on.
Okay.
I threw a one hitter and also a combined either no hitter, one hitter with Chad
Englehart.
Englehart. So
Wasn't
No,
that,
I'm not
wasn't
talking
that
bad
team that
about-
half the team was blind?
Look,
yeah.
he takes it the wrong way.
Remember, no
Wayne
bullying now.
Dodson threw a one hitter every time.
Yeah.
But you know,
But we beat him our senior year. And
I know.
And Andrew, I think, 1 yard on him. He hit a home run off of him. So
but you know,
we're ready.
too. You've got guys like we went out and we beat Monterey in doubleheader.
Yeah.
And Pena he shut them out. We run ruled them. One of the games, the first or second, I don't remember which one it was. I got a little bit to go on that too. What's funny is you remember that was the first time that we'd ever beaten Monterey in a doubleheader.
Mm-hmm.
And after the game, you remember how Monterey stayed and worked out on the field? We moved to Lubbock, and one of the coaches here where my son goes to school, and my son ended up being one of the best friends of his son, played second base for that Monterey team. We talk about that today. We talk about that all the time. So
Yeah, I went to college with the guy that was on that team as well, and he said we didn't know what running was in Plainview.
yeah.
Well,
exactly.
let me continue. I've told this story a couple of times on our show. I went to Howard Junior College to try to walk on. Dillman was there, and Rick Dillman, and so was the catcher. Was it Doug Welch? Doug something, but he ended up being a really good a coach in Texas. But anyway, they told us when they got back to Lubbock, Magel ran them.
Yes.
He ran.
After they worked out at Plainview too. Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys remember when I don't know who was umping, but Magel was pissed off because he wasn't getting the calls, and he said, "I know you got that Buddy Dobson. Where is he? Why didn't you get him?" I mean, Magel was pissed.
It was probably we can't say that, right? We
can't say it. No,
can't say names. Okay.
No.
We'll leave it at that then. All right.
Yeah, I mean, and then another fun fact that I've mentioned before, Wayne Dotson, he was drafted before Clemens.
Yeah.
In '84. Wasn't
he drafted number 3 or 2 or 3 or something?
Something like the 4 or 5.
Really
and then
high,
Clemens was a few picks after him.
Yeah.
And then unfortunately I saw him a few years after at Grandy's, and he was a cook. I said, "Dude, what happened? You had a gun." He goes, "Man, they just threw my arm out."
Threw his arm out,
yeah. I played a lot of softball against him in Lubbock. So anyway, what about you, Mr. B Terrell? Go ahead.
Where did I play? I was either the DH or the first baseman or the right fielder. I was
right field.
field.
Bullshit.
Yeah,
Sorry.
he was out there a couple of times.
Come
with
on,
him.
B.
One of those 3 places.
How'd you do in the outfield? I don't remember. And don't lie. Was anything hit to you?
Very average. Very average.
He did all right. We cheated to his side.
Yeah. Well,
but he was going to hit 400 though.
He would catch the ball. All I did was bat, So I could occasionally catch one at first base. So those
kind of reminds me of the Bad News Bears.
When Ronnie would pitch, I would play first base. When Ronnie didn't pitch, I either DH or played right field.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, you remind me of that movie Bad News Bear when Kelly Leach, or his one game, he was just like ball hogging, and that was Quennoth. B's like, "I got it." Nope. Quennoth comes steal it from you.
Yeah, I would play about 10 foot from the line, and I wouldn't even go try to catch him. I just, I'm just gonna screw it up. Let's let him do it. And it's a lot of work.
Yeah,
I was about twice the size of everybody on the team, and it was a lot of work for me to run, to try to catch the ball. So.
But you did know that I would be there behind you if you missed it.
No, I knew you were going to catch the ball. I was going to be
for clarification, Wayne Dotson was drafted in the first round, 15th overall.
Okay.
First
he's 15th.
Yeah, he signed for $69,000, $69,900 to be exact.
In the first round?
First round, 15th overall. Yep, Detroit Tigers. That's
And
Money is-
then Clemens was how many spots after him? Like 19 or
I don't remember, but Wayne Dodson was drafted in the first round.
Well,
1983.
things have changed so much.
oh yeah.
Okay, I could have been a freshman or I could have been a sophomore. But Monterey had a guy, I think his name was Coleman.
Oh, the best.
And-
Yes.
And if he, when we played him one time, and it was 3/4 of the way through the year, they said if he didn't get a hit for the rest of the year, he would still bat 500. I think he bit. batted like,
Yeah.
y'all remember him?
Steve Coleman. His name was Steve Coleman.
Wasn't he like a third baseman or something?
Yeah.
Some record.
You remember Anderson? He was a little older than us. He was a
Sophomore-
pitcher.
Was I sophomore or freshman when he was a senior?
Yeah. You remember
He was
Anderson?
sophomore, 'cause I remember him.
He
You
might have
remember
been
him?
my age. He might
Huh?
have been my age.
No,
No, he was 81, 80 or 81.
Okay.
But anyway, Jeff
you
Anderson. You
remember
remember
Brent?
Jeff?
Oh,
Remember
Jeff
Jeff
Anderson. Yeah.
Yeah, he had the body built of Jeff, but more muscular.
Yeah.
But he would end up being like most valued player, 5A, maybe his senior year. But yeah, I agree with B. That dude could hit.
Yeah. I think that Coleman guy was a player of the year, 5A player of the year that year.
Yeah.
From Monterey won the state championship that year. I think. Isn't that right?
I don't recall, but
I think they won the state championship in the year that he was a senior. But
I think he ended up coaching at Friendship. I think.
Hector Lamone ended up coaching somewhere, didn't he?
He coached at Plainview for a long time.
Yeah.
Hector
Did
did?
he?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, his son
he
coached
coached
here
it-
for 3 or
He
4 years.
coached at Estacada and then at Plainview, and he lives here in Lubbock. I see him every now and then.
So
Oh,
Steve
really?
Coleman
Oh,
he
he
coached
did
at
the ball.
Coronado for several years and then at Friendship for
Okay.
about 4 years, it looks like, and then at Odessa Permian. And then
Did he go to
Hardin
Liberty
Simmons.
Christian?
He went to LCU.
Yeah.
Since '97, he's been the head coach at Hardin Simmons.
Yeah. Coleman
wow.
graduated in 1981. His batting average for 3 seasons was .542. For 3 seasons.
Wow.
I went
First
to Hardin
team All
Simmons. Where
State.
did he go?
I'm sorry,
Uh,
Quennoth?
No, I just said I had went to Hardin Simmons. I was going to play there, and I just played fall ball.
Well, yeah. Speaking of that, you want to tell him that story about you and I and Andrew borrowing Coach Hill's car and going to Hardin Simmons?
Oh yeah, I mean we went to Hardin Simmons. I think we looked at San Angelo. We went different places.
No, we didn't go look at San Angelo. We partied in San Angelo.
Anyway,
I end up in
Anyway,
you,
anyway.
either you or Andrew, and I'll call it out. One of you guys broke the clutch.
that had to be Andrew because I wouldn't. have played the car.
He's not on, so you can't.
I
mention
just
his
tried to
name.
get it fixed before he got back.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, we went-
Yeah, I think
we-
I was driving, and we went to that gas station that was on the corner. Gosh, what it was up on the corner from the high school. But anyway, yeah, he had let us borrow the car, and we went everywhere. But yeah, clutch broke.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, we went to Hardin Simmons and we stayed one night there. And
Mhm.
man, if you showered and if someone flushed the toilet, talking
Was
about
that at
scorches.
McMurray?
No, that was Hardin Simmons.
Was it at? Because I know there was 2 there, and
Yeah.
I might have visited one by myself, but I know that there was 2 there, and then you had Abilene Christian. I don't think we
Yeah.
ever went there.
I don't think they had a baseball team then. I could be
They
wrong.
might not have.
Well,
but,
when we went to San Angelo, we met up with some of your some girls. I forgot who from class of '82. They were there, and we saw. I'm not going to mention his name. Plus, I do remember his name. He was the trainer for the Bulldogs that year. He was short. Not going to mention his name, but he was there. It was a frat party we went to, and he was drinking. And he saw us. He said, "Hey guys," and he goes, "Guys, please don't tell the coaches. Don't tell Coach Sherwood you saw me here." So they were scared of him. The coaches were scared of him, like we were. But you remember that, Quennoth?
Yeah, and I was trying to remember who he was. Wasn't he a stocky guy?
He was short though. Yeah,
But
I
yeah, he
remember
was
his
short
last
and
name.
stocky. Yeah.
Starts with an
I
H.
remember his name, but we can't say it.
No.
Okay.
Oh well, he may not watch. What do you think, Lisa? It's Coach Huddleston, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
He was still young, but yeah, he was.
Yeah,
He
was young.
he was afraid. He was afraid, but yeah, we had fun. I don't know how we got the car back, but it was a
Yeah.
fun weekend.
We got it back though. In time, got it. I think we got it fixed before he got there, didn't we?
That I don't remember.
Yeah, because y'all
How
left
did
it in
you
my
drive
head.
it if you did get it fixed? If the clutch didn't work, you just
Yeah.
kinda-
No, we
But
got it fixed. I
Did
just
Coach
had-
Hill send us money?
Huh?
Did Coach Hill send us money? Because I know we didn't have money
No.
to fix a clutch.
I don't remember how it got paid. All I know is it got fixed.
Maybe my dad
No.
drove there and fixed it. Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I remember taking
Y'all
the gas
remember the
station.
time the bus broke down? We had to walk to the game in Amarillo.
No. What year?
I don't remember if it's sophomore or junior, but the bus broke down and we all loaded up our bats and gloves and everything, walked all the way in our cleats, like no, it's Paladura. We had to walk.
I mean, Paladura, yeah.
Yeah.
Not Caprock, Paladura. Yeah.
Lisa,
You
we've been
remember that?
hearing a lot of bad stories about Amarillo when it came to baseball. Willie urinated his pants, and now there was another story too about Amarillo. The '78 football team, when they played there, they watered down the field on purpose. Amarillo wasn't good to us.
I think when we
Yeah.
played Tascosa there in football, remember they let the grass grow up is about that thick to make sure cut down on our speed. That wasn't my problem, but as some other guys,
Yeah, wasn't my problem.
I remember that. I remember a story about playing at Amarillo High one time. I guess it had been my junior year, and the wind was blowing out, and Rodney White was on the mound throwing that curveball, and it kept going in the dirt. And Tim wouldn't mind me saying it, but TJ kept throwing the ball into right field, and they scored all those runs. I think Rodney had like 6 strikeouts in 1 inning, and they scored like 4 runs or something like that. But it's one of the, just one of those deals that Amarillo was never really good to us, I don't think.
But we played in the weirdest parks. Like some of them, there'd be football. I mean, it would just like be square out there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
well, it'd be
Yeah.
500 feet to center field,
Yeah.
and then
Oh, I know.
and 250 to the corners.
We were playing, I think it was Amarillo High. I think I was a freshman, and Irvin Davis hit one out. Irvin was I guess we were freshmen when Irvin was senior, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
that'd be
yes.
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Irvin hit one out of the football stadium, and they were like, "Oh, we've never seen anybody hit a home run here ever."
Yeah.
And God, he could hit the ball.
Yeah.
Irvin was a big guy. I mean, he was a
Another
Oh
man.
man, if he
He
ever
was
got the
thick.
ball, he would hit it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he ever
you
pitch?
brought up Hector Lamone. I never told this to anybody, so I guess it's okay for me to embarrass myself. For some reason, I ended up playing second base, and Hector Lamone was coming up to bat. So I positioned myself where I knew he was not going to hit. And so when he hit the ball, it came fast and hard. So I would dive for it, knowing that I wasn't going to get it. I told you, I just didn't like infield. Balls come too fast.
Nah, that was a player. He was a
Yeah.
damn
He's a
good
good
player.
guy. I think
He's a good football player too.
Oh
Where
yeah,
did he play
I
in
ran
football?
into him on tryouts. I can't remember who he was trying out for, but it was in Lubbock, and if I'm not mistaken, it was at the Raiders field. I can't remember, but we were. I ran into him there for tryouts for pro.
He ended up playing in the Red Sox organization for a little while.
That might have been who that was.
Yeah,
I
he
was-
played some games for a little bit.
I was gonna say the Reds, but was it the Red
Yeah.
Sox?
I think it was the Red Sox. I
It
don't
might
know,
have
maybe in
been.
the Reds. It was one of the
Yeah.
Red deals, but yeah,
Yeah.
he played for a little while. But then I ran back into him again. His son and my son were basically the same age, and they ended up playing some summer ball together and stuff. So he's a good dude. He's a good dude.
Well, hey, speaking of sons, Kevin had a couple boys played at Tech, and one of them
Yeah,
played
just one.
in.
No,
Yeah,
just one.
one. Okay, and then
Yeah.
what organization did he play for in the minors?
Yeah, he was drafted by Tampa Bay out of high school, and then by Baltimore out of Tech, and then was traded to the Dodgers. So
Yeah, that's right. And I reached out
played-
to you because I went to one of his games.
Yeah.
And got a picture taken with him.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. So he played, made it to AAA, played for about 6 years in the minor leagues, and he's married, got a kid on the way now. So
okay.
Where'd he play?
he played at he
What
played here at
position?
Tech.
What
Oh, he was a
position?
pitcher. He was a pitcher.
Okay.
Yeah, and threw a lot. He could bring it. So,
Okay.
but yeah, we had a good time with it, and it was a lot of fun. Like I said, we've been around baseball for a long time. So,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we all play together in the summer leagues, which was fun, and
yeah,
and then through high school. I was able to make it my sophomore year. B, when did you make it there? I forgot to ask you, sophomore or freshman?
Well, I played.
No, when did you make? When did you make varsity?
I played I played some when I was a freshman.
Okay.
Yeah. I think Peter played. Did Peter
Andrew,
play?
I think Andrew was the
No.
only freshman to make varsity our class. Maybe Peter. I'm not sure.
I played about 4 or 5 games with Irvin. I remember. So I mean, it might have been. It was probably late my freshman year. I played. So
Okay. Yeah, I know. Who was it? I was lucky. I was called up, I think, to the majors. I think it was the third wave of the season. Coach Hill brought me up to the varsity when I was in my sophomore year. I was lucky. We had JV, Kevin. We did. We had freshman
did,
baseball and KV, which my freshman year when I didn't make JV, I was pissed off. So I went and done track. I was mad. So, but
wait, we had freshman and JV. I thought we
yeah,
had JV.
yeah. They had a freshman team, and I wasn't going to play JV. I'm like, screw that. I'll go high jump. So I high jumped my freshman year, but my sophomore year we played Coronado, 11 innings, and I faced I forgot the pitch from Coronado, but I struck out 27 players out of the 33 outs, and he struck out like 19. I mean, it was cold, and my curve was just dropping
It
off
was
the
like an
table.
exciting game to watch.
Yeah. So we ended up losing 3-2,
Oh man.
and then I guess because of that,
I remember.
pitched well.
I guess senior year. Remember we had the playoff game. With Coronado at Tech.
Yep.
Remember, and I was go to my grave saying that ball that Tim hit was a home run. It was not foul, but I still will say that. But anyway,
Who'd you say?
That was a good
Tim?
run.
Who'd you say, Tim?
That home run that he hit, they called foul.
I mean, who hit it? I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
Jimmy.
Jim
Robertson.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, right down
Well,
left field line. I still swear that thing was fair. So, but I guess we all look through jaded glasses sometimes. But
Now
nevertheless, it was a good run. It was still a good run. It was a lot of fun.
Now I don't know why I remember this, but it was one of the summer leagues, and Kevin, you were pitching, and I would at third base, I would always take a big lead, but you guys asked the umpire if you did you wind up this way and you step backwards, you could step off the mound, but you never had the chance. That still would have been a balk, by the way. That would not been legal.
I think so. I think because of the windup, I think it probably would have been going off the backside. Probably would have been. But
So yeah.
Yep.
But you told me after the game, we got to get your ass, but you never got the opportunity. Hey, Lisa, welcome back.
Sorry, I had barking dogs, so I had to go out and close the blinds because that's why I kept muting myself. I'm like, they're not going to stop until I close the blind. Everybody, and my husband just got back from this bike ride, so it was pandemonium. I have 3 dogs here, so sorry about that.
Well,
My-
let's just talk a little about high school. That's just baseball. We do this with everyone. What's some of the coaches, and you can bring up basketball or football. Kevin, I'll start with you. What's some of the coaches? I know Sherwood probably influenced you a lot, but was there any other? Well, tell us a little story about Sherwood, and then go into maybe some other coaches that may
Or
influence you.
teachers. Or teachers.
Yeah,
Or, yeah, we'll get with teachers after that if it's
Okay.
okay.
Yeah, I think you know, without a doubt, Coach Sherwood was probably, you know, the biggest influence, you know, on me. Just more from a demeanor standpoint, you know, and you know, getting to know him after, you know, we left too, you know, because, you know, after we left, I came back and started doing some stuff with the Tiger League football program and stuff, you know, we'd talk to him and just to hear the things that you know, he'd talk about. Remember 2-a-days, you know, we always ran the hundreds, you know, in the morning, and then the 10-minute run in the afternoons, you know, and stuff like that. And remember going back and asking him and said, hey, was there a deal with conditioning you did that for? And he said, no. He said, after you've worked out twice during the day and run a 10-minute run, he said, you know that the linemen aren't going to finish before the backs. But he said, I wanted to see who quit, you know, so I know who to give the ball to or who to run behind, you know, if it got 4th and 1, you know, I wanted to know who I could count on not to quit, you know, and stuff like that. And of course, one of my favorite coaches was, you know, Coach Spoon. You know, of course, he was my position coach on offense, and I love that guy. You know, he was so much fun, and I just always remember him talking about, you know, he says, you guys got to get low. He says, you got to get low. You got to get low. He says, I want to see nothing but elbow and asshole, you know, and, you know, I love that guy. He was just so much fun. But all of those guys, you know, of course, they all went on to do a lot of different things, you know, with, you know, I kept in touch a little bit with, you know, with some of them, and you know, Wendy Williams, I really liked him a lot. You know, a lot of those guys left after our senior year. You guys probably didn't know them, you know, because you know,
1 year, yeah.
a lot of them left. You know, Coach Williams did. I don't know, was Coach Harrell still there whenever you guys left?
He was my sophomore English teacher.
Okay,
Yeah.
You know, and of course, you know, we know what Graham did, you know, and all of that, and Coach Tomlin, you know, just a lot of those guys, and Coach Moore, you know, just a lot of super guys, you know. Well, I think we were real fortunate, all of us, to go through at a time when we did. We had a lot of guys that were not just good coaches, but good people.
Yeah,
you know?
that was what struck me about them all. I mean, as I came back and my own kids went through, I thought that's what coaches were supposed to be like.
Yeah.
And that
They're
really
not.
wasn't the case most of the time.
Yeah.
I mean, not to talk bad about other people, but that really wasn't the caliber of people that I ran into. Not that they were perfect people, but they really, I think I still go back, they had a genuine desire for us to be good people and work hard and do all the right stuff.
Yeah, I agree. I think we were real fortunate.
Yeah, I think the coaches during that era were really more than coaches, that were mentors, and Coach Sherwood kind of set such a high standard that all the coaching staff followed, even if they were baseball coaches or whatever, or basketball coaches. He set a standard for our high school and our town that everybody emulated, and high level of expectation. And so, you know, you guys were super fortunate to play sports during that time for that staff.
I'm going to say one thing.
No question.
I'm going to say one thing about it. I think he did make one bad decision, and I've always said this, and it's not just because Quennoth is here, but I sure would have rather had Quennoth as my quarterback whenever we were seniors. So we'll just leave it at that.
You know, I one of my NRRs, I was with Luthez and Hollis, and they said the same thing. I mean, they even said that, and again, I'm not sure if it's true, but Steve went out and said, Quennoth, you should be the quarterback of this team. So, but you know, that's 40 plus years
I think
ago.
we were better when Quennoth was. You know, I mean, I just think we were better. And
Even
We were,
if
but
even
we
if
had to have him
5'4",
at defensive back. He'd have to play both ways.
I tell you what, I just know as a tight end, he could still get me the ball, and I know I didn't see it after Quennoth left. So, so maybe it was selfish on my part, but I still thought we were better with Quennoth there.
No
what about
question.
you? What about you, Brent? Coaches?
They all, I mean, as I said before, they just were genuinely good people. I guess my story is, and B might have been, I think it was my junior year. I think it was Tascosa, and we got in a big old scuffle. You remember Buck Buchanan?
Oh,
He grabbed
That was-
Robert Braddock by the front of the chest, and you saw Robert come flying out of the pile. It's like one-handed. He throws a 200 and
that was our scrimmage. That was our scrimmage against Paladura.
was that what it was? Man,
Yeah, that was scrimmage against Paladura, and Buck was throwing people. Yeah.
yeah, that was something else. But yeah, he was a good guy.
Was he related to Pat Buchanan? No.
As far as I know, they weren't related.
Okay.
He was from down
He
around
played pro
somewhere down
football.
around Abilene.
He played pro football.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I
He did.
knew. But Pat Buchanan was a coach too, though, right?
He was a
Yeah.
Plainview guy. He grew up in Plainview. He still lives there. I see him periodically. He ended up going to Wayland and taught PE at Wayland for a number of years.
Well, his wife was one of the science teachers too. I had her freshman year.
She was my science teacher. She ended up retiring as an assistant superintendent. I worked with her for.
Okay.
Really?
I worked 20 years in the school business here and worked with her for several years.
Okay. Quennoth, what about you, man?
Well, you know,
Now that you're the quarterback,
Yeah.
hey, I understood what was going on. So hey, I'm gonna do my part. I filled in when I needed to. I think when we were playing Tascosa,
Yep.
we broke some records there.
Yep.
It speaks for itself. But you know what? Hey, we play as a team. We lose as a team, regardless of what happens. But when it comes to the coaches, I was in a unique situation because of my height, especially when it came down to, hey, can he handle, especially playing defensive back at his height and, at his weight? And I don't know if y'all remember, they tested me against, Watuya, because they had a real tall wide receiver. And at that point, we had two coverages. We had a cloud coverage where I always went up and played the flat. So if it's a run, of course I'm up. If it's a pass, I let him go. I play flat. But anyway, we were playing silver, which was our other coverage where we were 3D. So, but I'll end up with this. Nobody, while I was playing defensive back, never got behind me. But I remember there was a big write-up in the paper, because of that trowel that I did. That guy, when they threw him the ball, somehow I was able to jump high enough to prevent him from getting it. I don't know if y'all remember, to get ready for football, because I knew I was small. I don't know if y'all remember, I used to go in the cafeteria and run and hit the Coke machines with my shoulder and different things like that to get myself ready and psyched up. But, all the coaches to me, because I watch, I'm a watcher, and I watch, they all had their unique gift, if you say, of coaching. They coach their own way. I don't remember anyone ever arguing about who's right or who's wrong. I remember they discussed it. They're going to do this, you're going to do that, and go forward. Of course, I talked to Coach Tomlin not too long ago. Would have been about a week, about a couple of weeks. We had a long discussion, and I appreciated him for what, for main thing for believing in me when he didn't have to, and so part of my my play was to appreciate the coaches for having that trust in that position. But the other was always about my team. I wanted to be there for my team. And that's what excited me the most. not only to be on that field, but to represent when I make a play, this is for my team to win. It's not about me, whether I get accolades or not. At the end of the day, we walk on the field as a Bulldog or Angry Red, and we'll walk off. And so that excited me. And of course, I'm going to say this: I appreciated the band, even though I was in band, and I appreciated our cheerleaders as well. And I want you to know that too. But the coaches were Coach Weatherspoon also stands out. He was a little different. He used to, he'd cheer us on. Every now and then he would come by the house. But to me, because of the closeness, Tomlin was who stood out to me. And that, that's maybe biased, but that's who, I got a lot of my coaching. Sherwood every now and then pulled me in the office. He'd have a conversation. But other than that, everybody did what coaches should have done.
Right. That's good. It's great. B, I know you've already answered this question on the 83 team.
Yeah, I answered it on our football thing, and it's probably the same answer. But
well, let's repeat it, B. Let's repeat it.
The thing about Coach Sherwood is nobody was there that was a screw up. I mean, if they didn't have the same values, if they didn't have his same work ethic, and he was so good, he just had a way. He could say something, and it wasn't yelling, it wasn't screaming, it wasn't demeaning, but he had a way of just saying something, and you wanted to do it. And all of them, had to have that same values, or he wouldn't have put up with it. He'd get rid of it. And as I said on the football, Robert Braddock, Blake Morris, Mo, and Michael and Lisa, we all talked. And I said, other than Coach Sherwood, who I spent a lot of time with at MD, he was in Houston at MD Anderson. And every time he's over there, I'd go over there, I guess, about once a week and see him. Because I was over there once a week working anyway. And so I'd go see him and spend a lot of time with him. But Coach Billingsley, I've just got a text while we're talking. Hey, young man, what are you doing for the 4th? And I talked to him every 2 or 3 days. And, he always kind of got me going. He did it a different way than Coach Sherwood. He was very, very vocal. He'd scream and that tobacco. I remember when I was a junior, and he'd be screaming, that tobacco would be dripping off my face mask because he's chewing tobacco, screaming at me. But then my senior year, we kind of figured one another out, and he's been like a father figure ever since. So that's it.
He would literally yell at you when you're bench pressing, right in your face, and spit that tobacco.
Yeah, he sure would. Didn't matter if you were pheasant hunting or bench pressing or playing a playoff football game. He was the same, and he was going to be in your face.
B, it's like you're saying, it wasn't from a demeaning standpoint. That was his way of getting you
going.
No.
That's what
that was his way of getting you going. And
Coach Sherwood never would have put up with somebody demeaning you like that.
And that's just that's their personality coming out, and that, like you said, that's what made it so special.
Yeah,
was
and
to
how
have
many
the different personalities.
How many years later, I get a text.
Yeah.
And every time I've ever, I'm a lawyer. Every time, I don't know how he knows. I don't know what. I don't know if he has a mole or something. But if I have a big trial, I'll get a call on Saturday morning, and he'll say, "Hey, you got something big going on Monday?" I said, "Well, I do, Coach." He said, "Well, make sure you're prepared. Whatever happens, you're okay if you prepare real good." I said, "Well, I'm up at the office right now, so." But that's been that way for. I mean, I got one about a month ago, so just special. It really is.
He was a tackles coach, right? Or offensive line, or
he was he was
Quick side,
a left tackle and
quick side,
yeah. I remember he used to call you Cobra.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, BB, one of those players that it's down the field and the play is almost over, and he's going to hit him a a cornerback. He's going to pile over a cornerback. So
That's the only person I could knock over. So that's what I wanted to do. Whoever it was, if they weren't ready, I'd want to hit them because if you catch them, they don't even let people do that anymore.
Yeah, you get thrown out of the game now.
I know. I'd make it about 2
So let's
you can't do. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff.
let's stick with you, B. What about teachers? As Lisa mentioned earlier, what about teachers? Any teachers influence you, or were they, that didn't like you, or no?
Well, probably.
Everybody liked me.
I remember I was telling somebody this, and I wasn't as bad a student as my father. Okay. And I had a teacher. Do y'all remember a Miss Williams?
Which
She
one?
was like a history teacher or
Yeah.
whatever.
Oh yeah, yeah.
No, Sandy.
Yeah.
Sandy Williams.
Yeah. And so anyway, I take a test or whatever, and she calls me up there, and she says, "Well, something's not right here, B. Look, did you look on somebody else's paper?" She was nice about it, but no, I didn't look at somebody else's paper. I mean, I did the test, Well, I taught your dad, and I think you had to be cheating off somebody else's paper.
That's funny.
I know. A teacher, number one, I had Coach Moore for health, which was a joke and kind of funny, but he was very smart. But I had Coach Terrell for English, and you wouldn't expect a coach, let's face it, most of them weren't, I guess, educationally oriented. I mean, it wasn't their primary job.
I started to say, don't say it.
Yeah. Coach Terrell, though.
Is that what you're really wanting to say?
Let's just say, hey, they were educated. They just weren't teachers. They were more.
Yeah. Hey, Coach Moore, I remember. Do y'all remember when the teachers had to take that test? And it was a big deal. My mother was a teacher, and she was really pissed off because she says, "I got to go." And they were studying, and they were going down there and they were studying because I don't even know, we were juniors, so whatever we were. If they didn't pass the test, then they couldn't be the teacher. Brent probably knows what it was.
That's way back in the day. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and my mother, my dad, and Coach Moore were great friends. They were really close. And so my mother came back and said, "Look, the one person that's not coming to the study thing is Coach Moore. He doesn't show up." And so my dad was like, "Oh man," because my dad didn't give a shit about grades. He didn't even know I went to school. And so my mother did, but my dad didn't. So my dad was talking to Coach Sherwood. I was there, and he said, "Look, did you know Coach Moore's not going to study?" And Coach Sherwood said, "You don't worry about Coach Moore. You don't worry about him." And apparently he was like brilliant, and he got the highest grade or whatever in the class or in the, whatever test it was. But I thought that was funny. But Coach Harrell was smart. He was a good English teacher too.
Yeah. What about you, Brent? Hey, I'm gonna go turn on the lights, but what about you, Brent? Any teachers influence you?
I like Miss Williams. I was a history guy. I like that. And then Miss Balcom. I don't know if you remember her from. She was a trig teacher. I kept her notes, and that's what got me through calculus in college. So I always appreciated that, and I had a lot of fun in ag too. I don't think any of y'all were ag people, but I did that in my last 2 years and really enjoyed Ronnie Tackleman. I don't know if you ever knew him. He was around here for quite a few years after that.
What did he teach?
He was an ag teacher.
Okay.
Who was an ag teacher before that? Right before him.
Steve Oldham was.
Steve Oldham, yeah.
Ronnie Tackleman left, and now I can't remember the guy's name. I'm looking right. I can see his face. I can call his name. A guy from Health Center became the ag teacher, and he's been kicking around here. I see him periodically too, but he was just my senior year.
Okay. Quennoth?
Miss Buchanan.
Go ahead, Quinn.
Yeah. Did you call on me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. What did Miss Buchanan teach?
Physical science.
Science.
Okay.
Physical science.
Yeah. And her husband was where?
You talk
At
about
At
Yeah.
Wayland? He was the big
Well, he
guy.
taught at the high
Yeah.
school for several years, and then he
Did
went to Wayland.
Well, anyway, like B's story, I remember I missed a day. I don't know why, and I came in and there was a quiz. And so I didn't know, I didn't read nothing, I didn't study nothing. So when she went out the room, I decided that I'm gonna look on somebody else's paper, and there I go. I'm looking
that
on
B Terrell?
everybody's paper, huh?
Is that B Terrell?
Gee, the point of my story was I did not.
Man, I was trying to get those answers. The problem is I never saw her come back in. All I knew is I felt something over my back shoulder, and it was like, hey, there she was. But guess who she threatened to give me 3 licks?
Yeah,
Pat
Pat.
Buchanan. Yeah.
Mhm. Like, so I was so afraid. But yeah, she was a nice teacher. You know, she was a sweet, calm teacher. She was up in the corner somewhere, wasn't she?
He was
Yep.
in the
Yeah,
corner.
way back in the corner. Yeah.
Her husband was right down the hallway from her.
Right.
Was he? Okay,
Yeah,
but yeah,
she was
she
in
was.
the hallway, and she was at like the last classroom in the hallway.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's other teachers, and I have to give credit to teachers all the way back to when I was in the 3rd grade. Michael, I don't know if you remember, because I think your family had some friends or somebody that lived near me on Cedar Street, or you had people there that was in your dad's karate class or something like that. But anyway, but one year my house burnt down twice in 1 month.
Damn.
We didn't have no place to stay. And gosh, I want to say Miss Crow, but I can't remember if that's her name. But I remember there was a couple of teachers that, you know, one teacher made sure we had clothes and stuff, but there was another teacher that opened up one of her houses to us, and we were able to stay there until we got on our feet. There was another English teacher that was there. It seemed like it started with H, Hatch.
There is Miss Mrs. Hatcher, I believe.
That was an English teacher.
I believe so. Short hair.
Okay. I can't remember, but I remember the one thing I do remember about her class is that Diary of Anne Frank, watching all that. But she used to give me pointers and talk about English. And she's probably the only one that talked to me about beyond high school. You know, we didn't go that much in detail, but she did, you know, let me know that there's more to come, you know. So, you know, most of the teachers that I've had, even, gosh, I can remember a lot of them that really helped me when I needed the help. But all of them were gentle to me, you know. So that was, you know, something that I remember about teachers.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Kevin?
I remember a couple, well, one, Ron Miller. He was my
Counselor.
Algebra 2 teacher.
And a counselor, wasn't he?
Dean. He was
Dean.
a
I think he was
He
our
was the
dean,
dean.
right?
Yeah, he was the
Yeah.
dean.
Wasn't it like a yearly dean? And
He was our
ours?
freshman dean, and then we ended up
Yeah.
getting Mr. Wood after
And
that.
Oh,
so we had him right after lunch. So, you know, we would spend lunch getting you guys in trouble, so he'd have to mess with it so he wouldn't have to come to class so early, you know. And so he'd have to mess with, you know, you guys. But no, I mean, he was, you know, he had that dual job, you know, and we had him, but he gave us so much latitude because he had that other job that he would trust us to go get into class even when he couldn't be there or something like that. And I guess, you know, taught us a lot about, you know, responsibility, you know, and as long as we did what we were supposed to do, you know, I mean, as long as we were in class and not outside cutting up, you know, not disrupting, you know, not doing this other thing, you know, he wasn't going to be a, you know, a hard ass on us, you know, and taught us that, you know, if you do what you're supposed to do, I will respect that, you know, and treat you like adults, you know, instead of kids, you know, in high school, like a lot of the others did. I always respected him a lot for that. He ended up being principal for my wife, you know, for a lot of years, you know, when she taught at College Hill while he was the principal there before we moved, you know, here to Lubbock. And just a really good guy. I still run into him sometimes when I'm in Plainview, and we'll talk about some of the stuff we used to do in the classroom. You know, we had guys like Mayberry in our class, you know, Brent Mayberry, and so it was a little bit of a cut up class, but you know, he still tells the stories too. And then man, I wish I could remember. Her husband was an administrator, and she was our accounting teacher, you know, and of course I ended up being a CPA and everything, but I had her for 2 years, and she was a lot the same way, you know, gave us a lot of freedom, you know, to do things, and gave us a responsibility to make sure that we did our work on our own instead of, you know, babysitting us and pushing us through. And I think that helped a lot more, you know, like Quennoth said, helped down the line, you know, whenever you get into college and you don't have anybody you know, babysitting you, making sure you do your work and get that done. So, but as a whole, I think we had a lot of good teachers that, you know, taught us not just the subject, but how to get through different things as well. So, there was a lot of good folks there. And kind of like the coaches, I think we were real fortunate to be there when we were.
Absolutely. Let's have a little fun. What about licks?
Hang on.
Okay.
I want to just, before we move on to the next subject. So B, I don't remember what class we were in high school, but you were not a cheater, but I cheated off of you a couple of times. One of them was a history class. I sat behind you.
I've got the all-time greatest cheat story. Okay.
Go ahead.
We go into a whatever, you know, the big auditorium, and we're taking our class, you know, when you had exit test or whatever you had to take back then. Do y'all remember those things? Y'all, it was like a multiple choice. Everybody was in there. And so anyway, I'm over there doing it. I'm checking the things. And so I walk out and says, "How do you think you did, Mo?" You know,
oh my God.
He said, "How do you think you did?" I said, "Mo, those damn questions were easy." Man, I mean, it was like, you know, for third grade or fourth grade. He says, okay, I cheated off of you on all of them. I said, "You dumbass, there was 4 different tests." One of them.
You know, I still talk to Mo all the time. You know, we see each other, and Mo has not changed one bit.
No.
From high school. And you know, my favorite story about Mo is, you know, he played strong tackle. You know, I played tight end, and I can always remember we break the huddle and we go out and he say, "Hey, Mo, what am I supposed to do?" You know, like I had to remember his plays and mine, and you know, most of the times like, "Mo, find somebody another colored jersey and just knock the crap out of him." All right, so I got you.
That's funny.
Love that guy though. He's a great guy.
So let's talk about licks. If you got them, I'm going to start this one because I received 5 licks all in 7th grade, and I'm going to call you out, Quennoth. I got 3 of them because of you.
I didn't do it.
Yeah, I think it was Mrs. Kramer's class.
Could have been.
In 7th grade. I walked in the room and Quennoth threw an eraser, hit me in the head. So I grabbed that same eraser and threw it back, and she caught me. Of course, catches me. So she didn't give the licks. Mr. Estes gave the licks. So pop, he popped me, and of course you got to shake his hand. He says no hard feelings. The second time we're I forgot what class we're in. I'm sitting there. I'm by the door, and I look over at Quennoth, and Quennoth does this to me. I'm like, "Back to you," and Coach Selke walks by.
No.
Flores. I'm like, okay. Pop, 2 hit the licks. So, and of course, my other 2 from Coach Upchurch, I threw some gum and Sue Welch's hair at a basketball game, and then that Monday, he coach. Who was the principal in 7th grade?
Daryl Kunkel.
Kunkel, yes. He gave me they gave me a choice: either get 2 licks or not play football or basketball. So I took the 2 licks. But yeah, Quennoth, you were the reason I've got 3 of those.
Well, you needed a discipline. I was preparing you for the future.
I appreciate that. Now I have no ass, man. That shit hurt. Lisa, I want to call you. What about you? Yeah.
I never got any licks. I was always a class teacher's pet. I was a good girl.
Yeah.
I didn't smoke. I didn't drink. I behaved in high school.
That's the
I'm
truth.
sorry.
Well-
I'm sorry you had a boring life. No, I'm kidding.
That's the truth.
Well, what about before high school?
Well,
Nothing.
you just admitted to cheating on my paper.
Oh yeah, you deserved them. You just didn't get caught. Yeah, you just didn't get caught.
You know, I have a Coach Harrell story. He taught English, right?
Yes.
I was in his class and I wrote a paper and I took it seriously. I was an English literature major on top of kinesiology anyway. So I loved English. I turned the paper and I got an A+, and he tossed the paper at me like this, and he leans in and he said, flip it over. Nobody needs to be humiliated by this. And like, he didn't want me to share my grade. I got an A+. He's like, we're not going to talk about this. Anyway, he basically said, flip that paper over and don't show anybody I gave you an A+. I'll never.
Nice.
Teacher's pet, huh? So
Yeah,
you even got extra on your test.
That's why she got away with
You might have
cheating.
got a C+, and
No,
Yeah,
I only cheated really that one time, and I do remember it was off of B. I'll never forget that because I was not prepared, and my grades. I had a really high GPA. I was smart, but for whatever reason, I was not prepared for that test. And
That was a serious panic if you had to cheat, and I was the only one you could cheat off of. I mean, that's like the bottom of the barrel right there. If somebody wanted to cheat off me, I'd say, "Here's my paper, please."
yeah. Now, Lisa, I can believe Mo cheated on it for him, but you, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with B.
it's the only time I ever. Plus, I was a cheerleader, and Miss Buchanan was our cheerleading coach, and I sure did not want to disappoint her. I had so much respect for her, and I loved her, and I thought I'm going to get kicked off varsity if she finds out that I cheated. I was stressed. I mean, I've never forgotten it. It's the only time I ever cheated, and you were the person there.
Lucky you, B. Well, B, what about you, man? I know you and Mo had to get in trouble and get some licks.
Oh yeah. I used to get licks all the time, but throughout the whole school, the whole time.
I don't know. Did you?
Oh gosh, yes. I mean, it was. Quennoth got you in trouble all the time.
Yeah.
It was generally Mo that got me in some sort of trouble, and he wasn't in the same classes that I was in. We'd get in trouble at lunch or we'd get in trouble, some other time. And I mean, it was consistent from, I guess, 4th grade on. He was always getting me in trouble.
Hey, I think sometimes your mouth got you in trouble.
Who?
I think sometimes your mouth got you in trouble.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it got me in a lot of trouble.
he got you in trouble, but he couldn't have been a better friend to you.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, Mo just Mo.
Yeah.
Like I said,
All
I
right.
talked to him today. I mean, he called me today. So,
Yeah.
Did you tell me you were going to be on the show tonight?
no, I didn't. I didn't get a chance.
All right, Quennoth, what about you, man?
Yes.
Well, I mean, gosh, man, you're asking questions. Now that I'm 48, man, it's hard to remember
48.
all these things. But I remember my first day, first class, I got 3 licks. I drew a picture, and do you remember that, B, or something? I
I
drew a
do.
picture and I gave it to a girl. It probably wasn't a nice picture. I gave it to her. She threw it on the floor before I can get it because she threw it too far ahead of me. The teacher came and got it. What class? It was a coach, wasn't it? Do you remember?
Man, I don't know if I was in the class or I was told about it.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was a big deal. You
Yeah.
know, first day, Quennoth gets his, licks.
Hey,
And your mom
I-
worked for the school, didn't she?
8th grade, Estacada.
Okay.
Look, that was my way of announcing my presence. Hey, I'm here. We're here. Our class, who is special for a lot of reasons, we are here. If you don't treat us right, we're going to cause you trouble. But no, I don't know why I did it, but it was my first day. The only other time I got licks, like I said, was I don't remember if he actually gave me licks or did she. I'm thinking she actually, Miss Buchanan, she actually gave me the licks. Other than that, I mean, I don't remember ever getting any licks, but, because I was a good guy, I don't believe what Michael said. I never got him in trouble.
Shit.
It was in high school that I did that, but no, I can just remember those two, really. But I do remember I remember a lot about 7th grade because there was a lot of things going on with teachers and all of that happening in the 7th grade. But I do remember getting in trouble for something. I don't know if I threw a rock and hit the school window and broke it, or what I did, but I do remember getting in trouble. I just don't know what the outcome was.
Do y'all remember Mr. McBee?
Oh,
yes,
yeah,
of course.
If he would bust you, you wish you hadn't been busted by him.
I got busted by him.
He would tear you up, and he was a little guy. I never
Lift you off the ground.
Well,
Yeah.
the class of 81 mentioned him, and one of them said that they thought he played tennis.
Well, he could have hit a golf ball 350 yards.
He's a good golfer.
He's a good golfer.
He was 5'3". He was
he
short
lift you
guy.
off the ground.
He was real short, but gosh, when
He could tear you up, man.
Yeah.
I got busted by him. I got 2 licks by him. I remember that. I think I smarted off to Miss Kendall one time, and she sent me down there, and the outcome was not good. And then I want to say it may have been like right at the end of school, my senior year. I made it all the way through, and I got 3 licks by Pat Buchanan because we were in chemistry class right across the hall from him. And I remember it was the end of the year because everything was being cleaned up, and oh man, I cannot remember our chemistry teacher's name, but anyway, we cleaned up everything. We started having water fights, with those hoses, and the deals, and we got a little bit of trouble for that. And so he sent us out, and Pat busted us. And like I said, if it wasn't the last day, it was the last day in that class.
Yeah.
Because we had just had our finals and he was cleaning up. So that's my 2 times in high school anyway. We'll go with that.
Hey,
And Richburg never got in trouble.
That's what I was fixing to say.
Oh, hold on.
Richburg's got nothing to say on it.
Hold on, but
did not.
Kevin, if I recall, your senior year, didn't you, Darren DeBerry? There's 2 other guys. Didn't you guys wear those leggings? Remember those?
Yeah.
Those
I think,
leggings. And didn't you guys
Harold-
get in trouble?
Harold did. Harold King, and I can't remember who else did, but yeah, I think there's a picture in our yearbook of us wearing them. Some people kind of tried, but there really wasn't anything they could do, and so they let us do it, and they took us down to the gym and took a picture, and it ended up in the yearbook. But yeah, I remember all the girls used to wear like the tights with the leg warmers. And
Yeah,
so
that's right.
We borrowed some leg warmers from everybody and wore them with our boots and jeans, and just for fun. And
So I'm looking it up right now, but go ahead. Yeah.
it would have been in my senior year deal.
They made a big
Flo.
stink about it.
Do what?
But I remember they made a big stink about it. I remember thinking, that's so stupid. They're just leg warmers. Who cares if they're wearing leg warmers?
And I think our argument, B, tell me if this will hold since you're the attorney here, but our argument was, if the girls could do it, we could do it. And so anyway, that we'll just say the case was dropped. So,
Oh, there's several of you guys. It was
Well, that's
Scott Asseter,
yeah.
Terrell, DeBerry, Mark Smith, and Darren Spearman.
Spearman, yeah.
Darren Spearman.
There we are.
Oh, my bad. So,
Y'all were years
Cute.
too early.
Yeah.
and
It was just fun.
Yeah. Back to the looks thing, Michael. This is for you. So,
Huh?
Wood was our senior dean. And
Ronnie Wood.
Ronnie Wood, yes, was our senior dean. And when we became seniors, he called me into the office and he was like, I'm going to get you this year. No, you're not. And it was a joke. He really adored me. But he was like, you've just been too much of a goody two-shoes and I'm going to get you this year. And I'm like, no, you are not. And he did.
you and Richburg.
Yeah. I bet you
never got in
Richburg.
trouble.
I bet you Richburg got more licks than you be. Come on,
I
Richburg.
bet. I
got one in
Richburg
7th
never
grade
got
from
in
Coach
trouble.
Upchurch.
Was it Quennoth? Was it Quennoth's fault?
It was
Even though you
Quentin's
weren't there?
fault.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah,
It
I
was
must have done
Russell
it.
Russell
I
Horan.
must have
That's
done
whose fault it was.
Hey,
What happened?
Michael,
So what happened?
I know he's
We
not
we
here
were
to
just
defend
horse
himself.
playing before class,
Oh,
and
go ahead.
it was actually Miss Glazier's class. She was my science teacher, and Coach Upchurch was next door, and so she handed us off to him, and I think he wanted to do that. He'd been wanting to do that all year long. So,
I'm shocked.
but I didn't want my parents to find out for sure.
Did they? Did they find out?
No, I don't know. They never said anything about it. So
We
they
got
let us
it
know.
now.
Huh?
We got
That's
it
it.
on film now.
Yeah, we do.
That's right. As I said, the statute of limitations is out, so it's good.
Hey, Michael.
Yes.
Andrew's not here, but did Andrew ever get licks that you know of?
I don't recall.
I don't recall him getting licks.
I don't know.
Yeah.
He's a Dunlap, so I'm pretty sure he did. Quennoth. And again,
First
you
day
probably
of school.
got his trouble. You probably got the whole class, 7th grade class in trouble, Quennoth.
Yeah.
You're the instigator.
And no. When I really changed was in the 8th grade, and that had everything to do with my mom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she got me involved in things that I wasn't really thinking about getting involved in. But hey, I had 2 nicknames, Strychnine and Pistol Pete. You don't get those because you're,
Well, what about hanging out? Where did we hung out at the fun station?
You mean the
Kevin?
family fun park?
No, fun station.
Fun station. Where was
At
that?
the-
I thought it was
at the end of
PlayStation.
5th.
Is it Fun Station or PlayStation?
No,
The old A&W root beer place.
All
it's
the way
at the end.
down-
At the end
The
of 5th
place that
Street.
had the slide for a little while, the water slide.
No, but that's the fun station.
No, that was
That's the
family
fun
fun park.
That the
Fun
fun park. They used to
Fun
be
Park, yeah.
they used to be the burger train,
Burger train way
Yeah,
back.
yeah,
in the
yeah.
day, man.
and then turned into the fun park. But no, the fun state or state. Excuse me, I don't remember, but it was at the end of 5th Street. But anyway,
Was that the old the old arcade down there?
yes. I mean,
Yeah.
yes. So, what about you? Where'd you used to hang out, Kevin?
We used to hang out in the parking lot, the old
Gibson.
it was the old Gibson's parking
Gibson
lot,
parking lot.
which I guess now is Jibo's, and is Jibo's still, Brent?
Yeah, I
Yep.
believe
And,
so, yeah.
Then we'd go through the Howard's parking lot, the old TGNY Howard's parking lot there, and we'd kind of make that drag, and sometimes we would then our little group would hang out in front of well, it was the Pizza Inn, back when we went to school. And I guess that's gone now, isn't it, Brent?
It is torn down.
It's gone, but
Finally.
we used to kind of hang out in that little parking lot. But we just kind of make the drag and hang out in those parking lots most of the time. Sometimes we'd come into the arcade, but and do that, or down to the fun park. But most of the time, just kind of hanging out in the parking lots. And trying not to get caught doing
Yeah.
things. We'll just
Yeah.
say that.
81 mentioned Howard's. What was Howard's? I don't remember that one.
Howard's would have been the old TG&Y. It's isn't it a fitness deal now, Brent?
Yeah, you remember where Village Pizza was?
Yeah.
And
Right
Baskin
down-
Robbins and
right
Village
down from
Pizza.
Village
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That,
Okay.
It was kind of
that
a
big
Gibson's
shopping
like
center
store.
there.
The green
Yeah.
stamp store.
Yeah, the big anchor store in the middle would have been.
Okay.
I guess it was it originally a supermarket or was it TG&Y first? I don't even remember now, but it was Howard's.
I don't remember it being TG&Y. TG&Y was over in the Edgemere.
That was over in the, yeah, that's right. It was over
We went
with
from
the,
downtown to Edgemere.
I
yeah,
bought my first shotgun in Howard's.
Howard's. Yeah, there
I
you
went in
go.
myself and bought a shotgun.
Yeah, that 14 or something.
Yeah, I don't know how old I was, but I know I
I
still
got
have
my
it.
first shotgun when I was 10 from my grandma.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, we used to always have them in the back of the trucks, right in the racks. You had
Yeah.
a shotgun and a rifle both in the racks. So
And we could park. We could have them at school too, if I recall.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. We always
Yeah.
used to you
Oh,
just,
in the truck.
just drive up to
Yeah.
school. They were right in the back of the
Yeah.
truck. So
Yeah, because my brother graduated in '82 with you, Kevin, and he had I think he drove an El Camino or a pickup, and he had a gun in the back.
yeah,
Our gave us I got a 22 for my 6th birthday.
yeah. I
We
tell you
lived
what,
out the farm in Edmondson. There
Yeah.
were snakes
Yeah.
and whatever. You had to know how to use a gun.
El Camino, boy, if there's a car I wish I could have now, that would be it. I promise.
Brother's
Mhm.
first car, El Camino.
What about you guys in '84?
We kind of did the parking lot thing. I remember driving up and down the drag and bees. What was that? Your Firebird, your gold Firebird?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I didn't really have a big hangout spot. I guess that just kind of the normal stuff, just kind of driving around.
My wife bought me it was a 70 something Firebird, and she saw a picture of it somewhere, and I told her how much I liked it. She found one and bought me one.
Oh, nice.
That looks almost like it. Yeah.
That's fun. That's fun. I had my old blue pickup until my youngest son got rear-ended and totaled it when he was a junior in high school. But
Oh
I
my
had to wait
gosh.
till then.
Wow.
But it wasn't
Did you
new
still
when you
put
had it,
dry
right?
ice in it?
Yeah.
Remember the dry ice you would put in it? You'd put dry ice so it would blow up in the vent. Didn't have air conditioner, remember?
No, it didn't have air conditioner. I don't
Yeah.
remember putting dry. I don't remember putting dry
Or
ice.
ice or something. I remember I rode with you.
Anything
That-
to
that
make
truck
it cool.
That truck wasn't new when you drove it, Brent.
No, it was a 69, so it was old whenever I
Oh,
drove it.
geez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Made
Oh,
it a bunch of years. I wish I had it back.
Oh,
Hey,
Jimmy.
was it on the tree or was it?
It was an automatic transmission. It
automatic.
was
Okay.
pretty fancy.
Yeah.
Oh, Jimmy Bodeker.
It was a 69 Chevy short bed step
Yeah.
side.
Yeah.
Light-
Jimmy
light
Bodeker
blue.
bought a Z28, and he still has that same Z28.
Wow.
He still has
Well,
it.
you still got it.
Well,
Yeah, he
Wow.
still has it. I mean,
Wow.
yeah, since our reunion last year, he still has it. Of course, his kids are like, can I have it? Whenever he goes on, but he still has it. I wish I would have kept. I had a Trans Am. I wish I'd have kept it.
yeah.
So I'm like, shit. But oh well.
I tell everybody the car I'm not going to sell is I got 79 Formula. It stays in the garage. I drive it about once every 6 months.
Make sure the battery stays charged.
Yeah.
No. Yep. Lisa, you have any other questions?
I was just going to tell Kevin, most people after us wouldn't even know what 3 on the tree is.
Yeah, I know what that is, but it wasn't.
That's why I figured I knowing your dad, Brent, I figured he would have had been very conservative and had a standard
No,
transmission.
he was fancy. He went out. I think he paid $1,250 for that pickup in 1975. So
Wow.
Wow.
Didn't you do a lot of work to it? Wasn't it really nice? I mean,
he kept it real clean, kept it in the garage, and then I actually took it to college. My sisters drove it through high school after I got married. We were moving. No, my sister was driving home from college and wrecked it on the ice in Canyon, and I paid to have it redone. Spent about $6,000 and had it redone. Then 4 years later, we were moving from Illinois back, and had the trailer it was on came loose from the truck and it flipped upside down. I had it redone one more time. So it was on its it was on its not ninth life, but it had been a few lives. But I wish I had it still.
No,
Well-
I don't. So it's 8:55, so we've been on almost 2 hours, but I wanted to just go around the room here and give us your parting words for this evening. So I'll start with you, Brent.
Thanks for inviting me. I didn't really know this existed until we were planning our class reunion 6 weeks ago or so, and Marie Hooper talked about it. I think there's going to be a group of us come on for the class of '84. We're going to be as old as you guys and have number 40 here pretty quick, and you're all welcome to come. I got the okay to invite whoever's around wants to come. Pretty low key, cheap affair. So if you're around, want to come, October 5th is going to be our day. So we're going to do it when it's a little bit cooler and get summer out of the way and just kind of hang out. But thanks.
Cool.
Great connecting up with you guys and gals.
Wonderful. Quennoth?
Well, for me, I just, I'm going to first just thank you and Michael for, doing things like this to keep Plainview high schoolers, ex-high schoolers, communicating, sharing their stories. I think it's a privilege or an honor for anybody to be able to participate in whatever high school, because it brings back memories, things that you experienced that you wished would have never ended. People that you wished you could have learned more from, became more close to, or maybe you wished you would have never met. According to Michael, hey, if it wasn't for me, he wouldn't have got licked. So, but no, I just want to appreciate them. But then,
if you need something in Plainview, holler.
Yeah, but from all, from you guys that are here, each one of you are somebody that I remember. And I think I even brought your name up not too long ago, Kevin, when we were having a conversation, me and Michael. I think I brought his name up because we were talking about baseball. But each one of you I remember very well. And again, it's an honor to still be able to communicate even, this long after, I think we can appreciate the value that we learned during the years from the people we got who were in our life during that time, and from each other. Because I think I've hung out with most of you at some point in the parking lot or with Michael. I don't know if you remember, we were drinking.
No.
We were drinking green Coors, or was it Old Milwaukee, in the back of my uncle's boat in my garage.
It could have been malt duck. Probably malt duck.
No, we were drinking beer because we kept saying it must be green because it was old or hot or something. And so, I mean, there's a lot of stories. We could go on and on and on, but I appreciate each one of you. Glad to have spent this time with you.
Appreciate it. Hey, B, I meant to bring this up at our football one, or 83. Do you remember in Marston's son? We were at the parking lot, and I'm not going to mention, but there's some group of kids that came and were picking on someone, and there was a big brawl. It was Mo, Myron, Blake Barton. I think you were there.
In the parking lot.
And Marston's sons.
Out west of town, on the west side of town, not downtown, right?
Yeah, we're Think United.
That was by the roller rink, right?
No. It was in Marston's sons parking lot.
Oh, in the parking lot, yes.
Marston's out.
That was after we'd already gone to college. Though.
Yes. But it was a big old. Yes. We were back in town.
Big brawl, yeah, it was.
But anyway, go ahead, B. What's your parting words besides the brawl?
Well, it's great to see Brent and Kevin. I mean, it really is. I mean, I've seen these others in the reunion, so and this, but it's great to see y'all. And I can tell you one thing: we went to our reunion. I'm going to go back to the reunion. We had a reunion last year, and Lisa and Michael were kind of put. I mean, you know, they were all involved. It was the best, was it not? We had the absolute best time. There were so many people that came, people I hadn't seen in forever. People, I mean, you just didn't know. It was absolutely phenomenal, and the two of them really were integral in making it be that good. Y'all need to do that. I mean,
Well, we're doing. Marie's our Michael and Lisa. She's working it hard and got us all going. So yeah, we've got.
They're going to be on our show very soon. And one thing that Quennoth and Lisa and I and Andrew and Sean, I think that's it. We rented the house, the president's house.
Yeah.
And we had our own mini reunion. That was a fun place. It was a beautiful home.
I wish I'd known y'all were having it. I would have come and crashed.
Yeah, a bunch of people came. Literally, it was. I mean, we stayed out till what, 5 in the morning or something. I don't remember.
I was asleep. I was tired.
I don't know. I retired last year, so I may have been gone. I traveled a bunch last year.
Yeah, I mean, I usually go to bed at 8:30, so you know, I mean, I'm up till.
Yeah, I'm starting to yawn right now.
Yeah, it was a bottle of tequila that put me to bed.
Yeah,
I told the
followed up the reunion with this.
Yeah.
It's just phenomenal.
We're really looking forward to
this going. It's really impressive.
Yeah, we the committee. I told them that Friday and Saturday I'm going to be sober. Thursday night I'm going to party, and I did. And yeah, I ended up going to bed at 8:30. Yeah, at least. Kevin.
You know, I guess as the senior member here, I'll actually be 60 here in 2 weeks. So
happy birthday!
Getting up there, but I, you know, even at that, it seems like just, you know, talking to you guys and everything just seems like yesterday, you know, that all this stuff's happening and everything. And, you know, you remember all of those good times and everything so vividly. And you know, it's such an important part of our lives, you know, and you know, there's not a one of you guys that, you know, at some point I have not had a story that I've shared with someone about. And, you know, it's just been, you know, I'm just real fortunate, feel real fortunate, you know, that we all grew up together and had those times together, and, you know, just would never trade them for the world. And like B said, it might have been a long time since we've seen each other or whatever, feels like yesterday, and sure wouldn't trade anything for the world though. You guys are all very important part of my growing up, and which makes you an important part of my life still. So appreciate you, each and every one of you guys.
That's nice. Thank you. I guess you're the last one, Brent.
No, I already said my part.
Oh, did you? Oh, did you?
Is that everybody? They were very memorable, I can tell.
Well, next week, Kevin, we're gonna have the 82 cheerleaders. Tanya, Mona, and Diane are going to be on. So
that was back in the good old days when they got to be the bat girls in the dugout. That's the other thing I remember from my freshman year of baseball.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. I remember that. But I would like for you to get a football team. 82. I've had 83, 81, 78. If you get a football team, and also just get some of your own buddies. Let's come and talk and share stories.
I'll see what I can do. You want just our graduating class, or just the guys that have been on the team? Or
graduating class 82. I know Luthez has been trying, so I'll text you Luthez.
Yeah. Hook me up with Loopy, and we'll see what we can do.
Yeah, that'd be good to have 82. And Brent, like to have an 84 football team.
We'll try it when we say everybody in October. It'll be easy to get a group together. Roy, I can't keep up in contact with Roy Thompson quite often, and so I know he's going to be up. He lives in Houston,
Yeah, he lives in Cypress, about 30 minutes from me.
Yeah.
So absolutely.
Really? What does he do? What does he do for a living?
He is for a long time was a sales rep for a drug company, pharmaceuticals.
Okay.
I saw it's about 6 months ago that I saw him, and he got Parkinson's in the last couple of years. And he is not selling anymore, but he's still doing some customer support for
That's
I don't know if
awesome.
it's Lily or one of the big
That's
growth
terrible.
companies.
Next time you talk to him, tell him I say hello.
I will do it.
I
will do
thought
it.
about him often.
I
We used to work
saw
together.
I saw him a month or two ago. Unfortunately,
He was
Gwen
doing real
Thompson.
good.
I saw him at Gwen Thompson's funeral. He
Okay.
showed up.
Well.
So
At
but,
who's? At who's?
Gwen Thompson.
Princess sister.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
she
didn't-
passed away.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Cancer.
Well, and she was where, in Houston or where?
Houston. Yeah, south of Houston.
Goodness, I would have gone. I wish you'd called me, but anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, bless her heart. She fought a long battle with brain cancer.
No.
Oh, really? I didn't know
And
that.
he has actually took care of her the last 3 or 4 years. He moved in with her and was her primary caregiver.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had several long conversations with him, and it's been a really, really hard journey for him.
With who? I'm sorry.
Luthez.
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 Okay.
Lupe,
Yeah.
I was fortunate to have a conversation with her before then, so it was good because we were real close at one point.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we were able to.
Well, gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for
We
putting it
enjoyed
together.
it.
Thanks for all
Yes.
your work.
Guys.
And then I'm gonna text the group tomorrow, Brent, and give you guys a date to choose from.
Okay.
And I'll get with Lisa. But guys, I enjoyed it. You guys
Hey, be
take
sure
care.
to get me
Thank
Luthez's
Hey.
thank
number.
y'all so much.
I need to come fishing with you, man.
Come
Be
on,
sure to
let's
get me
get
Luthez's number,
as
Club.
usual.
I will do. I'll do it tonight.
Thank y'all.
All right,
Bye.
bud. See
Good
you
night,
guys.
guys.
Thanks.
Much.
Bye.
Miss Lisa, that was another.
Seeing all of them.
Yeah, it was really good. I mean, you were there with us because it's
I was.
baseball.
The whole time y'all are sharing these stories, I'm like, when you're talking about Nederland and everything, I was at all those baseball games, so it brought back a lot of memories for me too. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
super cool. Super cool.
Yeah, it was. It was very, very nice. And as I mentioned earlier, next week we'll have the class of '82, and
My
and we're
first
looking
year
forward.
being varsity.
I'm sorry.
That was my first year being on varsity.
Yes. So this will be your show to run. Probably. I'm just gonna sit back and listen.
excited. Oh my God, I can't wait to see these girls after all these years. I mean, 41 years we haven't seen each other.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's been
Less
a
for that
while.
because I used to see Mona in Lubbock when I was my freshman year at Tech, but
Mhm.
I'm really looking forward to seeing them.
Cool. Well, good night, and we'll talk soon. Peace and love.
Bye.
Peace and love.